What's going on, everyone? It's the Emo Boy here, back again with another video. Today I just want to talk about how Overwatch 2 is basically cancelled. Like, it's just not happening. And if you don't know what I mean, it was said on a live yesterday, held by the devs, that, PvE is not happening. Um, And to be honest, I'm not even mad. I'm not even surprised because at this point, nothing surprises me anymore with Blizzard. I am just disappointed, as I'm sure most of us are disappointed. There was people visibly angry on Twitter. And the memes are just funny. They just are. And I've been saying this kind of since the game came out, and I'm sure everyone has been saying this. Overwatch. This isn't Overwatch 2. This is Overwatch with a new engine and new events. That is it. To me, this is just Overwatch with a new engine. Like, that's all this is to me. Um, as far as like my opinions with the whole PvE thing goes, I kind of expected this because from the day uh from the day Overwatch launched, it it, it just kind of felt weird, you know. Sure, there were changes, some good, others kind of made you question things, but for the most part, it just seemed like nothing changed. And come on. Oh, damn. And it's just so disappointing that Blizzard for since 2019, Blizzard just kind of that's all Blizzard really, talked about with Overwatch 2 is the fact that it was just PvE, just PvE, PvE. And it sucks now that 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 they can I revive you? Thank you. It just sucks now. Oh, oh, all this ours. It just sucks now that for basically multiple years, I can't even remember at this point because I just can't count it. But for the better part of Overwatch 2's release, that's all we were promised, and that's all that was shoved down our throats. It was just PvE, PvE, PvE. Our game modes like Star Watch and the new competitive modes, are they fun? It's hit or miss for me. Personally, for me, it's hit or miss. Now, in my personal opinion, I'm speaking as a consumer here. Let's see. I'm speaking as a consumer here. They really shouldn't have even thought about releasing Overwatch 2 without PvE being finished. Because it just shows how in a rush they were to shut down Overwatch 1, put out Overwatch with a new engine, and basically just call it a new game. Like that's literally what they did. And there's no excuse for it, and it's just it's just kind of nasty to think about. Oh god, it's just kind of nasty to think about how they were that greedy for, you know, our money, when they could have easily profited off just waiting. Like if they would have just waited for their PvE to be finished, uh I feel like things would have gone much better for them. Because it comes, I wouldn't even be this disappointed if they didn't go out of their way to talk about PvE, talk about new story missions, which we're still getting. It's just, we all know how story missions are. They're not that exciting, and they're short as hell. And it's basically, story missions are really nothing to look forward to in terms of, you know, extra content that Blizzard is adding. Just because to me it's over. Events like Star Watch and events like story mode missions and stuff like that, that seems like an excuse for them to just, you know, say, oh hey, we couldn't bring you PvE, but you know, at least you have this. You know, just be grateful that you have this. And I just don't care who you are. To me, that getting story missions isn't PvE to me. I wouldn't even be half as mad as I am if, you know, they didn't show actual PvE shit. Like they were showing skill trees, and they were flaunting about, oh, we're gonna give Overwatch players a new experience. They even made this shit free, which in my opinion is the only good thing about this, is that the game is free. That's it. That's the only thing they did good. The balances are fucking awful. The the matchmaking is shit. You can never argue that the matchmaking has been good. The matchmaking is shit. The balance to some heroes are needed or either unneeded. Such as, yeah, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like Roadhog. They basically took away what made Roadhog good. Yes, Roadhog was irritating. If you got hooked, it was irritating, and he could one shot you. It's just, and when they took that away, you know, people were cheering up and down that, oh, finally Roadhog's hook got taken away. You know, Roadhog is no longer good. Roadhog at this point is basically a feeder for your ult, which is just fucking unbelievable. Uh, uh, the and it's just so mind-boggling to me how, thank you for the endorsements, how Blizzard went ahead, shut down Overwatch 1, released Overwatch 2, knowing the game wasn't done. That's another topic I want to get into. The god-awful release that was Overwatch 2. Was it the worst release in gaming history? No. I wouldn't go that far. You are reaching if you are going that far. But was it a good release? Fuck no. It was awful. The queue times were fucking miserable. And and a little throwback to the queues. The queues were so bad. So at one point I couldn't install Overwatch 2 on my PC. Like I just couldn't for some reason. I don't know why, but I just couldn't. So I went ahead and installed it on my PlayStation, and I was like, okay, once the game downloads, I'll play it later, because you know I was busy that day. When I had sat down to try to get into the Overwatch, to try to get into a game, right? I just wanted to play one game just to see how much a change taking out an extra tank would be. That's another good decision they made. I think one tank is fine, two DPS is fine, two healers are fine. That is an evenly balanced team. But when as far as the queue times went, um, I remember some instances of me and my friends trying to get into the game, and sometimes the queue would just reset on us, like just straight up, it would reset. It would it would literally go down to zero, and then oh, queue's back up again. Another thing to me that I would like to say is that my expectations were already low with this game, because to me, Overwatch is Overwatch. At the end of the day, that's all it is. It's a multiplayer game. It's a server game, and there was no taking that away really. So when PvE was said to be a thing with skill trees, me and my brother were actually excited about that, because that meant we can build the heroes however we want, as Blizzard promised us. They promised we would get PvE, but instead of waiting till PvE was done, they said we're gonna shut down Overwatch 1 completely, release Overwatch 2, and I'm saying 2 with quotes, and PvE is gonna come later. We promise y'all. We are at season 4, about to be at 5, and PvE was still not here. My thought process was, okay, after season 4, we're gonna get some for PvE, because story missions are coming. Why wouldn't PvE be coming, right? And then this shit happens yesterday, where they say, oh, sorry, PvE is not coming, but y'all get story missions, y'all get summertime events. Summertime events are cool. Star Watch event is cool, but to take away your main go-to for this game, that was their whole campaign as to why Overwatch 2 was so different than Overwatch 1. It was because Overwatch 2 was meant to be a PvE game. And now that's gone. It's gone. Overwatch 2 is canceled because Blizzard decided they can't deliver the promise on PvE. So now we're just stuck in Overwatch 1 again. And in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure everyone will agree with me here, that is the dumbest decision Blizzard has ever made. It's on top of that dumb decision Blizzard made when it comes to removing something, and what was I gonna say? I'm sorry, I'm just so mad. but 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 it it was just to me, I was already on edge because they released Overwatch 2 without PvE. That should have already been a red flag, but I really want to give the benefit of the doubt. So I told Alexa, because me, Alexa, and the Chaos Squad, we were all talking about this change of PvE, basically being taken away. A promise to us that is basically taken away. I have said my expectations were already low in terms of Blizzard removing PvE. My expectations were already low upon release of this game. Like, there was nothing you could have told me that could have convinced me Overwatch 2 would be that much different from Overwatch 1 without PvE being a thing upon release. And for their main catalyst and main reason of it being called Overwatch 2 to basically just be ripped away from us after God knows how many promises or it's just it's sad, man. And Blizzard, I believe Blizzard was a bad company to begin with. Like, even with all the controversy and shit, it was just awful, bro. And Overwatch 2 to me could have really been their redemption, you know? It could have been something fresh. It could have been something that new and old players could have looked forward to. And now that's just gone. They basically just re-released their first game, their first major hit. I don't want to say it was their first major hit, but to me, Overwatch was their first major hit, and I feel like now they just basically re-released Overwatch 1 without any thoughts at all. Oh. And nothing's changed. Sure, there's cute new little events, and there's this promise of, you know, more story missions, but it means nothing. It really doesn't mean anything if you can't even deliver on one of the many promises that you've basically been giving us from the very beginning. There's just no excuse for that, and I'm just severely disappointed with Blizzard as a company. There is no real excuse as to why they would promise something to us that they couldn't even deliver on. And we're Blizzard to call this a sequel is it's just a slap in the face of us as consumers and as a fan base, and I honestly really expected more, and there's just no way of working it around that. Because at the end of the day, this isn't Overwatch 2. This is just a reskin. And that's all this will ever be. Thank y'all for watching. Peace out.
Choke me like you hate me, but you love me.